Hi, good evening, members of the council, Mr. Chair, Parish President Cochran. Thank you for having me tonight to listen to my annual presentation for the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program. This slide shows a little bit of our numbers that we had this last grant cycle. It shows our numbers of volunteers and the hours in which each parish has put in. We do still look over volunteers for the tri-parish area. What do the hours mean? It's hard sometimes to provide all the social services that some of the nonprofits need in our community. So this is some of the cost savings provided by the volunteers in each of the parishes. And that equated to over $1.6 million for all three parishes, which is pretty impressive for this year. We had over 65,000 hours. Some of the volunteer statistics, people ask me some of these things. Our average age of volunteer is 74 years old. Most of them are female, and we do have 67 veterans on board that are still serving their communities. Our funding sources remain the same and pretty stable at the moment. The federal government, which is the Corporation for National Community Service, funds our grant, as well as United Way. You all graciously continue to support our program, as well as St. John the Baptist Parish Council as well. How do all of our volunteers do it? The majority of our volunteers serve 4 hours or less a week, which over time, as you saw previous slides, is pretty impactful for any one community. Louisiana, this is just some statistics. We don't always get these out, but there's about 3,600 Senior Corps volunteers, and that could mean other programs as well, not just RSVP. But this is a nationwide national service organization. Louisiana at a glance, we are one of 6 RSVP programs in the state. There's 156 stations, and there's almost 2,500 volunteers. And we secure a little bit over $475,000 in funding from the federal government. This is just a picture of last year. We helped our emergency operations department do a mock evacuation, and our volunteers were more than eager to help and walk the parish and different departments through those steps. We do a Martin Luther King Day of Service every year. In 2017, we collected 453 children's books, which were donated back to the children in our community. Some other things that we do around the parish, but most notably last year for Hurricane Harvey, our volunteers sorted, boxed, and organized over 6,000 pieces of school supplies that were sent to Houston on behalf of St. Charles Parish. We are in our 41st year of national service here in St. Charles Parish as well. We just had our annual recognition luncheon. We had over 300 volunteers in attendance, and we hosted it this year in St. John Parish. It was pretty well attended, and I got lots of good feedback from that. We continue to assist with the St. Charles Toy and Gift Fund event as well. Last year, we served almost 1,200 kids of the parish, and we couldn't do that without Valero, the Thomas Picayune, and United Way. That concludes my report this evening, my presentation. Does anyone have any questions?
No questions? Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Hogan.
Thank you, Council Chairman. Yeah, I just want to thank y'all. Thank you for all that y'all do, and for the volunteers. They provide a great service to the parish, and it's really appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Cluley?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know it's age restricted. It's over 55 years old, right?
55 and older, yes, ma'am.
But you have a lot of there are a lot of volunteers younger than 55. Their hours are just not credited or just counted towards your
Right. My
numbers.
grant limits me to those 55 and older within RSVP.
Okay, and an agency has to be registered with you in order for those hours to count?
We have a memorandum of understanding with each station. We call them stations.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's kind of like a little registration enrollment process. And that we track the hours through a database or through software.
All right, thank you.
Okay. What else?
Thank you, Ms. Higgins.
Thank you very much.